All right, so these are your two websites, Ms. Courtney, the first one and the second one. So, what I do when I initiate the design process, first I research all your users. I go through your Google business profile. I read the reviews. I see what people are saying. I see what people like. I see what people may say they don't like, even though I saw like a really lot of good reviews. They outweighed any of the poor reviews. I can't even remember any bad reviews. If it was bad or bad reviews, it was like a nice nasty review, if that makes sense. A mean review, a nice mean review. So, but outside of that, you got to look at the good and the bad when designing, because you have to know how to steer the ship when you're steering towards a solution of creating a user journey. So the user can flow through your website in a way that is easy, it's simple, it's easy for them to scan, it's easy for them to understand what your product is, what you offer, and why it's valuable. And then they'll buy it. And so it's advantageous for everyone, because your business in this case is a print business. So you're helping other businesses or industries market their content, and then in exchange, for your services. And then you're helping them grow, and then they're helping you grow. So the easier they can find you, the more discoverability you can gain, and the more membership. The membership is really important. The more memberships you can attain, and people you can get on board as a part of your brand. You build familiarity, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So after I did the research on your users and your target audience, I screenshotted both of your websites and I put them here in my design software. Just focus on the center, the left and right. These are like toolbars. Don't worry about those. But this right here is where the magic happens. So I've listed the pros and cons of what I gathered based on I put the pros and cons based off the information I gathered from both websites. So the pros of both websites are they have a clear headline and value proposition. So your premier business concierge, fast printing, clean signs, business made simple. So this one is the newer one. It, really directs towards what your business is actually doing for other businesses. This one is just saying like kind of making a broad promise. Your premier business concierge. You're saying you're a guy for businesses, but they're not sure what you actually do. So the big words have to be definitely what you're providing, the product you're providing, or a promise you're making, but it's more specific. All right, so the next pro is two location addresses visible plus your phone number. So you have two location addresses visible plus your phone number at on top of the navigation bar on this website, and it's inside the navigation bar on this website. The good thing about this one is that it's sticky, so it stays with the person as they scroll down, so they can always see the location and the numbers. This one, when I scrolled down on the website, it went away. So it's really important to always have the number visible in a location visible. So, and then the next pro would be service categories listed and the membership program. I didn't see that on this website. This website was pretty short and simple. Not a lot of information, but your landing page, which they call it a landing page, your home page, landing page, same thing, but they call it a landing page is because what people are landing on is the first thing they're seeing. So you want it to be like your website to be your central piece of business information. It's like your online headquarters for everything your customer wants to know. This one has the services, and they have them in little card-like blocks, which reminds me of kind of like business cards and then franchises. So whatever lovable prompt he put in, it kind of achieved that, if that's what he was aiming for, because it does feel kind of newspapery, and it's really blocky. So I want to talk about it being really blocky. I think we could use some spacage, but we're only going over the pros right now. I'll show you the spacage and different things that I think I resolved after the cons, and different things I resolved about the cons in the prototype. All right, so which one were we on? You have partner program and event space sister brand. Not on the first website. It is on the second website. You have the picture right here, which is really nice. This looks like really authentic. You obviously took this in your office somewhere, or somewhere in your business area. And I think I just realized that says the Element Nola. That's actually oh, that's how you probably know Miss Angie. I just noticed that. All right, and so proudly supporting hospitality across New Orleans and beyond. And you have a list of the sister brands and all your hospitality partners and who you're cool with in business and stuff like that. It's really important to build credibility, but we're going to talk about the positioning of where you should be placing those names in the prototype as well. And then you have weekly deal section. So you have the weekly deal section right next to the membership section, which is really good that you have a membership portion of the website where you can join for $99. but then it's kind of competing for attention. So see this week's deals or join for $99. Most likely people are going to click see this week's deals and never come back to the home page to join for $99 because people are first instinct isn't to spend money, and then on top of that, they could use a little bit more information before they join for $99. You can announce it, but don't make it in the CTA. We're going to talk more about that in the next one as well, and how you can make it more balanced out so they don't have to choose between one or the other. All right, and live mockup tool and order tracking. So I saw you had a live mockup tool page. I don't believe it's on the home page, but I think it would be best to leave that on a separate page for the live mockup tool anyway. But it is really good that you have that in the new website. I don't know if you had a live mockup tool in the old one. It was just the different sizes and the picture stayed the same. So now let's talk about the cons. So the cons are no lead capture form, only order or call. There's no middle, there's no in between. So neither of them have a lead capture form on the home page anywhere where you can they can fill out their name, email. I saw it on a different page, but the home page is, like I said, your central piece of information for everything on your business. People kind of want everything in front of them on their plate as soon as they land on your website. So they may not want to order now. They might not want to call right now. We can keep those as the main buttons and stuff like that, but there has to be an in between, so they can have a button or like a form that says name, email, print type, print size, and then we'll get back to you button or something like that. And they click it, and then they get an automated response. And automated responses, follow-ups are super important in business. I'm sure you know. When they get those automated responses, people get busy, they might forget, and then they get those automated responses at the right time, and boom, they're back into the cycle of, looking at your product and considering buying and building that impulsivity off those automations. Difficult mobile experience. I think I skipped one. Let me see. No customer testimonials displayed. So there are customer testimonials displayed on the first website, but they're not on the second website, I don't believe. I haven't seen any, no. So they don't have any customer testimonials displayed on the second website. And you want your customer testimonials to be really easy to read and really obvious. You don't want people to kind of skip past them. This image, makes me want to stop when I was scrolling on the website. But these testimonials feel a little fake. People don't normally, people read reviews for sure. Not everyone. They'll get a feeling if it's real or not based on how it's formatted. Now you have a lot of Google reviews on your actual Google business profile page. And in my design, I'll show you exactly how to make those look like actual Google reviews instead of reviews you may have just typed up and came up off the dome and with the John Doe. What they say right here, they say Brandon customer. You see what I mean? It says Brandon customer, so you have to make it look more legitimate. And then you actually have real reviews, so that's the best part about it. So I'm gonna show you how to use that in the prototype. All right, so you have difficult mobile experience. Yeah, so on the phone using this website, it was all jumbled up, and you can already see it from the screenshot. The main call to action buttons, which are call now and order now, they're not even on the screen. So when you're on the phone, they're nowhere to be found, and these are the most important buttons. These other ones are just pages, and this is really a jumbled up navigation, which is the next con, I believe. Yeah, jumbled navigation, too many options, and cognitive overload. People only want to see a few pages. People aren't going to go through all 10, 15 pages of your website. I would suggest keeping it in between 5 and 10 pages with the best amount of organized information you can get. And then low use of imagery, no video content. Low use of imagery on both websites. There's only like 3 images on this one. This one, it just looks like people at work. It's not really anything print related. This one, is business related because, you're representing yourself as a business concierge. I love the black people, power to people. And then this one is just more kind of business analytics on the table, stuff like that. It could be better imagery use, and this one, it has like printed magazines. This one is, directly speaking to what your business is actually doing, but it can be better imagery use, and I'll show you exactly how to make the images bend through the website so fluidly in the prototype. So without further ado, let's move on to the prototype because I actually had fun making this website. Normally I work on home service websites like construction websites, dumpster rental websites, exterior remodeling, roofing websites, stuff like that. This printing website, I could get a little bit more creative instead of keeping it so, I don't want to say corporate, but construction, you keep it really blocky. And so this is what I wanted to kind of unblock this website because I feel like this website feels more like a construction website than a newspaper website. The business cards, I like the shadows it's using right here. It makes it feel more franchisey under the borders of the blocks. But the blocks are really taking up a lot of space on the website. They're stacked up on top of each other, and it's really a lot of information jumbled up, and there's a better way to space it out. Let me show you out. So first, let's start off from the navigation. I immediately lessened the navigation. I made it down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 choices. So 8 pages basically on top of the home page, a total of 9 pages for the website. And then I centered your logo, made it a bit larger because it was really small right here. You want people to really remember who you are. So I made your logo the largest thing at the navigation instead of making the words larger than the logo. And then underneath there, I made this red strip because red normally indicates warning or announcement. And I put that red strip there instead of putting it as the call to now button or making it this teal color because it's easy to pass over this. You know, it doesn't look as important as the red one. And then on top of that, this one was these blocks are taking up a lot of space to say that these two are one sentence and this one is like 2, 3 sentences. So you want to take those 2 sentences and then I'll put those up here. Free, what that say? Free delivery on orders over $100. I'll put that right here. LaPlace pickup is always next day. I'll put that in the middle. And then I will put pickup is 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. On the end right here. And each of them will come with the logos, which will also go on the side of the text. See, it just thins out that space by a whole lot. Like, so you're taking up less space on the website, taking up less cognitive load. And on top of that, I can make these buttons clickable if you want them to look into more information, or maybe it could be a pop-up, something like that. And normally the first thing I do when I'm starting to design a website is I zoom out because I'm trying to compare. And normally one of the first things I do when I'm starting to design a website is I zoom out because I compare legibility. So when I'm looking at the website on the far left compared to the one in the middle compared to the one on the far right, my prototype, which one is the easiest to read? I would say the one on the far right. This one, I have 20/20 vision, by the way, so I can see things from really far away. God bless. This one, the words are super bold. Normally people think bold means, you know, grab my attention, but sometimes it leads to, you know, brain fog. It's like too much going on. It's too in your face. It's like begging for your attention. This one is just thin and it's on top of a white background. There's no overlay on top of the background. This one, this is a white background and it's also a printing background. So it's a computer and it's having stuff printed out on a piece of paper. So that's indicating it's a printing business. And then I put an overlay over it. The blue overlay, same color blue that you use in this website. I just made it go over the website. go over the picture. And that brought out the text a lot more than it did here. So, and the text here, instead of it saying your premier business concierge, which is a broad promise, this one says fast printing same day quote. So it's telling you that we're giving you, or you're giving them, fast printing same day quotes straight up. So they know immediately what they're there for. And then once they read that in a smaller description, business printing, branding, signs, apparel, promotional products, and startup services, all under one roof. Order now and get free quote. So they get to order now or get free quote. So this leads them to a form. Even though this clicks into a form on a separate page, there's still a contact form on this page that can fill out just in case they skip over this button, because this one is a lot more important than this one. You want them to order immediately. Also, there will be 3 circles right here, basically representing your phone number. It will be a circle for a phone icon, a circle for Instagram, a circle for your Facebook, and a circle for the memberships. Kind of like how they have these circles right here. Anywhere there's a circle, it's representing an icon. So this icon, also, I put these here because you want to have whatever is in a headline, what your business is providing, the actual product and the promise you're giving the person with your product. And then you want to have kind of like the broad, or like I guess you would say cliche feeling catchphrases when it comes to business, making people feel the emotional side of business, like look professional, win customers, grow business, because that's what the end goal is. So that's when you want to emphasize stuff like that afterward. And then right under there, this is where I wanted to bring the trust badges from all the way at the bottom of the website, which you have on both of these, to the top of the website, because people want to see who you work with immediately, and that builds immediate credibility. So these would be like the logos and the text, preferably type logos. There's a difference between like a badge logo, which is something like this right here, and like a type logo, which would be something like this right here, blue. That's like a type logo. Or Homewood, that's a better example, Homewood Suites. So you don't want to, I would suggest trying to find like more type. I know my Element Hotel has a type logo. It just says Element. It has the E on the left of it. So yeah, so find the type logos for the brands, or I can actually find them if you need me to, and I would just place them in between these. Like I said, this is just a prototype, so this is more like showing you the layout of what your new website could look like in the user flow. So they see your website, they see whether they want to order now or get a free quote, they see that you're trusted by many, and then they come across your quality prints for your business. So this is literally a live example of your quality prints. So you're showing your customer exactly the products you provide and what they look like in 3D. So quality prints for your business, and then I took this text of this description from your website on the last page, on the home page. This was in the home page description, and then order now, of course. And this right here, where it says select print types, these will be icons of different print types, like a business card icon, a flyer icon, what's another one, a yard sign icon, a door hanger icon, whatever print type you want to place here would be right here. And so the user can click through this, and it's easy to understand on mobile. You click through these buttons on mobile, and then it switches the image on top right here, and you can slide through it on mobile too. It's a carousel, so you can slide through it. And then they'll see all like the quality prints that you provide already in their face soon as they're on the website, on the second page already. So they know what they know what you provide, and they've seen the proof. So all right, so after that, is kind of where they start to decide. So they got prints to choose from. So these are the same print types that are right here will be in these boxes, but they'll have descriptions, short descriptions, one sentence. So it'll be an icon in the middle, which would be like something like this circle right here, the name of the print type, and then it will have a description, and then order now. Icon, name, description, order now. And it will be the same thing for each of these, but different types of print types. And so they can order it now, and it will take them immediately to the print type quantity, the checkout for the print, whatever print type they're ordering. Or if they don't, they're in between. This is what I was saying. If people are in between, they're not sure if they want to print yet, they can just click name. It will be a name right here. It will be an email right here. It would be, what else? Print type right here. And then it would be print amount or print quantity, and then submit. Or it could say something like, we'll get back to you. Because people don't always want to see submit. Certain words make people feel certain ways. I'm sure you know that, Certain words make people feel certain ways, even when reading, They not always, it has to be verbal. But when people see submit, they think they're, closing into something. When people see something like, we'll get right back with you, they'll click that before they click a submit button, because it feels more personalized. And then this is where the reviews kick in. So this is where the reviews are genuinely noticeable. And then you can have the Google. So these will be Google reviews. I didn't place the Google image here because, like I said, this is a prototype, but it will be a Google icon right here. It will say Google reviews, and then the Google stars. I will put 5 stars right here. And then it will be direct Google reviews that people can click into and see your business page, your Google business profile. So that is how you make a review look super legit. It's simple as that. It's not an overcomplicated process. It's just making sure people know that they're Google reviews, because people trust in Google the most. And then this is where I placed your membership and your weekly deal. So this is called a call to action banner. So they have call to action buttons like this join now button, and where I've been placing the order now. And look, you notice how I'm keeping it consistent. In design, you have to use something called repetition. It's just one of the many design principles. And repetition is using stuff like the same button size, the same radius border on the outline, how they have like circular lines, and then the same type. It comes down even the same text. So I put now at the end of everything that's in the main call to action button, join now or order now. Now this right here, this is like the secondary button. That's why it doesn't have like a border around it, or it's not, and nothing's like colored around it. But it shows that it's a secondary option and people can go to it. And this one would say something like weekly deals, and then they can click into that. Or I can put it somewhere as like a badge, which I was thinking about. You know, you can always improve design too. I can put it like a badge up here on the top left corner. And this will list all the benefits that you already listed in this one. And yeah, that's how this one would look in this one. And I put a flower here because when I go to like Office Depot, what I notice is on a lot of like print containers or ink containers and stuff like that, they have flowers. And I'm assuming it's because flowers represent high quality. Like, you know, they bring out the instinct of, you know, nature feeling natural, even though print is something artificial, but it's showing that the ink is so good that it can create something natural that looks so well, even though it's artificial, if you get what I'm saying. So that's why I put the flower here, because it's representing how well your print company can print quality images. And then we have the industry. So I noticed that section over here where you had like the programs that were associated with like different niches, different industries. Business, church, and school. I put the same exact thing down here, business, church, and school. But what I decided, instead of having it on these small business cards, notice how these business cards for the programs are even smaller than the ones for the pickup and delivery. So I thinned this one out. I made it smaller, like I told you, at the top in this red bar, which it would be placed. And then these should be a lot larger and have a lot more information and feel personal to the industry who's reading it. So whoever's reading, let's say a pastor is reading about your website and learning about your product, and they're scrolling, they're getting towards like the middle of the website, and they're almost convinced, and then boom, they see churches. They want to see more than just churches, and then programs, flyers, banners, events, and printing. That's great, you know, that's informative. That it's good to know that you had that we're involved. But I made these a bit longer, a bit larger, and then it would be basically the same thing. You remember how I told you I made this opacity overlay on the image? It would be an image of a church in New Orleans or Marrero or wherever you prefer, schools in the locations you're around, restaurants in the locations, or past restaurants you've serviced, stuff like that, past business you service. It will be an image behind here, and then it would be like a description or whatever you're servicing, like the different types of prints you provide for that industry listed. And it feels a lot more personal, and this is where our icon will go in this rounded square right here. And that just makes it feel a lot more personal to the industry or the user that's from that niche or from that industry who's reading it, and it just inclines them to click. And so that's just the prototype. Miss Courtney, let me know what you think. I can send you a screenshot of the prototype, this is just a layout. It will look way better once I place things like the real brand logos and the trusted by many, the icons, the images, of course, for your quality prints, the different type of prints you want, prints to choose from, reviews, and you know, just fill in the gaps. This website is far from being finished, but I like the direction it's heading. Let me know how you feel about it. Give me feedback. I'm all for it. That's why I'm a designer. And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to work on your business. Peace and be well. Have a good one.